Hello, good day to all my fellow travelers, photographers, and friends around the world. Once again, welcome to Chris Lee Travel Channels. In today's episode is also my fifth episode of Series 2 of my Iranian journey, and I would like to share with you something very different from all the past 10 episodes, which I'm going to share with you the countryside, the natural beauty of Iranian plateau. So, before we begin the actual tour of this natural beauty, let's get to know where about is Iran located, just for those who are first time with me. So this is a map showing the place of Iran, the nation Iran, and is classified under the Middle East countries. And the Iranian plateau, or some people like to call it Persian plateaus, is a very vast piece of land which cover about 3.626 million square kilometers. And just to share with you a bit some geographical fact about Iranian plateau before we go into the Lut Desert. Now this Iranian plateau with this 3.6 million approximately square kilometer of land area, it cover few nations. uh, Basically it cover all the land in Afghanistan, and we cover part of the Pakistan, which is actually the west part of Pakistan, west of Indus River, and most of the land area in Iran. So, it's for that reason that although it's called name it as a plateau, you look at this map, it seems to be even between the land of Iran. As I said, most of the land, or rather almost 90% of the land in Iran are classified under Iranian plateau. But you still can find a lot of green patches because it's this piece of plateau, or this plateau is not entirely flat. It's basically cover uh, contain several mountain range, right? It can be seen now on this topography map. And at the same time, they have some depressions. And of course, the depression part is where the desert is located. It happen to be the Lut Deserts. At one spot, the Lut Desert itself, it have an altitude of less than 300 meter. Right? And therefore, from this map, you can see that beside the brownish colors zone are on the highest land, the green areas are actually at a much lower altitude. So let's have a look of these Lut deserts. Now, the Lut deserts is of course is located in the southeastern Iran, and is between the three provinces, namely the Kermans, the Khorasans, and also Sistan Balochistan province. And this desert in Iran is named as Das Lut, right? Of course, in English we call it Lut Desert, and it's the world's 25th largest desert, and is also another natural UNESCO heritage site in Iran, and it was inscribed in the list in the year 2016. They mean not long ago. And the east of Lut Desert is filled with sand dunes, while the west is a place called Sadat. It's filled with wind-carved ridges, which range from 55 to 70 meter high, and also the local name it Kalut. So, interestingly, the Lut Desert is one of the lowest spots in the Iranian, or rather, they also call it Persian Plateau, which an altitude of less than 300 meters, which I have thus mentioned earlier, is indeed a depression in the desert. So, our the town the nearest to the Lut Desert is of course the Kerman city, and Kerman city, to reach from Kerman city to the Lut Desert, we had to cross through a mountain range to reach a place called Sadat. And the the place that we are exploring in Lut Desert is as shown in this map, this provincial map, either circle in red. Right? And you notice that this is 1 hour stop in Iran. I have covered most of the stop, but coming back to this the stop at F is basically the Sadat, which I have mentioned here, a place where full of Kalut. So this show that the Sadat is just after crossing the mountain range from Kerman, while descending to the desert, that's where the Sadat is located. So let's go into the image proper. As we go along, we share with you more information about this Lut Desert. Now this is the route that leading to Sadat. Now Sadat, Sabat, not Sadat, Sabat is about 95 kilometers northeast of Kerman city. That means it's not far away. It's here at the edge of Lut Desert. This part of the desert is widely known as the world's hottest and driest place on earth. Between the year 2003 to 2010, about a span of 8 years, with days temperature reaches about 70 degrees Celsius during the summer. And of course, as I mentioned earlier, one of the main attractions of Lut Desert is Kaluts. Right? This tall and so-called string-looking stand formation that are shaped right by centuries of water, winds, and soil erosions create spectacular scenery in the desert, giving a real sense of isolation and a very beautiful typical phenomena around these deserts. And from now on, the images will share with you in these Sadat regions, and you can see all the Kaluts that found in this area. It's extremely hot during our visit, even though our visit was in the months of March, right? Or let us say early April. We still consider is spring, early spring. But in this part of the desert, it's already extremely hot. So this is big image taken at the center of these Kalut regions. If you happen to see any human figures on this image and you start comparing with the height, the size of these windcraft ridges, you can see how very big and huge the size is. Now from any image you can see on the right side of the image, you can see some human figures there. And you can see even some vehicle, the 4-wheel drive vehicles in this image. So the in image there you can see the 2 vehicles is passing by at the bottom of this image. Our arrival at this place, if I'm not mistaken, is about I think about 10:30, even not before noon, and we are given really an hours only to explore. Entire duration given is 1 hour. We managed to walk into some section of this Lut Desert or this at this Sadat. But our exploration still consider very small area as compared to the actual size of these Kalut regions. And most of our tour mate was shy away from this hot sun and high temperatures. They prefer the high under the shade, but for us as a photographer, few of us was walking on the entire duration at all corners, trying to explore with these Kaluts with as many images as possible. So we are not alone. You can see from the image there are still other visitors visiting this UNESCO Natural Heritage Site. You look at the sky, it's almost cloudless. No? And this is also the reason why the high temperatures in these regions. And of course, UV light is also pretty strong. The depression, as I say, this is a depression, one of the lowest depression in the Lut deserts. And this could be one of the reasons why the temperature at these regions are higher than the other regions in the Lut deserts. So indeed, Kalut is a very unique phenomena. So when vehicle passing through this zone or this Lut deserts, at this area, you can see the dust created uh, from the passing by vehicle. So we have actually shown you most of the hand-picked images of these Lut deserts, although it is cover just a small area in compared to the actual size of these regions, but enough to give you an idea of how this color look like, you know. And we are moving on to next sections of my travelogues. We basically will share with you the countryside scene, and of course, all these scenes are not a specific stop. It's basically a scene taken while on a moving vehicle, while from Kerman to Lut Desert, from Lut Desert to Sadat, back to Kerman, and then on the way to Yak, and then finally to a city at the northern part of Iran. So let have some idea again on this Iranian plateau, because basically all these sceneries are fall between the Iranian plateau, and it's important to note that the as Iran, most part of Iran are classified under Iranian plateaus, and it's expected the weather here to be hot, and particularly during the summer. In winter, or those at high altitude area, it will be much cooler, of course. But anyway, it's also a very dry regions. And if you want to know how the people, the civilization survive in these under these hot climates, and also under this extremely dry and with very little water resources, it's best that you revisit my episode sharing with you the two important city. One is the city Yak, all right. The other is Kerman. These two cities are classified as a desert city of Iran. Now, interestingly, the in this Iranian plateau, the highest peak is the Dharma one. All right, is of the height 5610 meter, or 5,610 meter in height, and so here again, to give you a better understanding of the Iranian plateau, the scope, the coverage area, I can see it include Iran, most part of Iran, the entire Afghanistan, and also part of Pakistan. So this is on the road journey, and while we are traveling, you can see that there are mountain range that on our side of our roads. In this case, on the right hand side or left and right, depend on which direction you are moving towards. So it's a very hilly region because you are passing through mountain range. Our visit to this Lut Desert was we depart from our hotel in the early morning. So this is some of the early morning scene on the way. So from here you can see that the dryness of these regions with very little vegetations, hardly can find any tree, and all this being classified as a desert zone. And the mountain range, snow-capped mountain range, or just between view. Indeed, is most is a treeless zone in certain section of Iran during our on our journey to this Yet, as well as from the Kerman to Yet, particularly from Kerman to Yet, and also from Kerman to Shadat. And now, just to let you have an idea of where is Yet, city of Yet, and you look at this topography map again, you can see the Yet is almost right at the center of Iran, and it's squeezed between two mountain range, both on the left and I mean on the north and the south. Uh, and it's for this reason, it's also a place where much higher than the other region compared to uh, the Sadat. So it's for this reason that the Yat city is very dry and hot as well. So the route, the image I'm going to share with you now will be a route from Kerman, spot D, to spot G Yet. We are basically traveling on the valley between two mountain range. Here we still manage to find some tree, and because our visit during the spring, so you can see some cherry blossoms seen on my image. And in this spot, we managed to get a pit stop to visit the toilets here. I think it's also quite popular a stopover for tourists. And here we found quite a number of trees uh, with cherry tree with cherry blossoms seasons. We come on the right time. The snow-capped mountain range are very close to us. This image they are taken with a zoom lens, so you can see the glaciers on these snow-capped mountains, a much smaller scale. There are very few settlement here, human settlement here. Very dry regions with very little rainfall throughout the years. At this part, we managed to find some tree, but because it's still an early spring, all these trees are all leafless. And this is actually a crossing, the one of the crossing on the way to Yat, and more mountain range scenery scene. You can see the mist. I tend to like images in these sections, the mistiness, give you a feel of a peace, you know. Look at the the crowd of sea. So at the later part of the evening, before we are arriving at Yat, and we managed to capture this beautiful sunset scene. And of the our entire journey in Iran, we came across these very beautiful petrol stations, and it's so unique, you know, and happened to coincide. Our visit is most in the evening, and I just take my opportunity to capture the evening scene together with this uh, petrol station as my foreground interest. So this is about all of this special episode on the natural beauty of Iran. Uh, Although it's not a long episode, but it's very very rare and very unique uh, to find during our entire journey, and I value very much on this natural scenery of this part of Iran. And next week will be my last episode to Iran on the series 2, and definitely I'm going to share with you a few more places of interest before we urgent to another country uh, that I have yet to decide. But most likely I will revisit one of the very scenic spot province in China. I will let you know more by next week when I ending my last episode to Iran. Meanwhile, if you are entertained by my travelogues, and I would be much pleased if you are glad also you could subscribe, like, and share my these channels to your friends and families, so that they can be like you know, to travel virtually at the comfort of their homes. And at the same time, I wish all my viewer good health, and be strong and be able to travel again, waiting for the world to be truly open. All right, and I shall thank you again for staying until this hour with me, and just to say words thank you and bye.